Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Nafi's Learner Zone. So today we are going to start with a new chemistry chapter. So we will discuss today about the periodic classification of elements. So what are elements? You had studied in the 9th standard about elements. You know that there are so many elements in the universe. So how many exactly? Hope you know. If not, you'll get to know about in this chapter. So step by step we'll be studying, so you'll get to know it later. Okay, so a whole universe is made up of elements, different elements like hydrogen, oxygen, iron, nickel, copper. You know some of the many elements. So these kind of elements makes a matter. So you know that the universe is made up of two things. If you don't know, get to know. The universe is made up of two things, that is matter and energy. Okay, so you know what is matter. In 9th standard you have studied matter is anything which occupies space and has a definite mass. So that matter is made up of tiny particles. You have studied atoms. So the similar atoms grouped together is known as an element. Okay, oxygen is an element. Okay, made up of same oxygen atoms. So that is matter. About matter itself, we are going to study in chemistry, right? So chemistry, if in general words, if you want to know what is chemistry, chemistry is the studying of matter. Okay, and what's the another part of the universe? Energy. So study of energy, we do it in physics. So physics is the study of energy. Chemistry is the study of matter. Biology, you know about that. That's about the living organism that we discuss in biology. So elements. So what are elements? You got to know. Now, as there are many elements, 100 plus elements are there. So as there are many elements, it's very difficult to study all the elements together. So what do? We group them together with similar properties. How it has been grouped, that we are going to study the historical background of that classification in this video. Okay. So first thing you should know is, why do we classify the elements, or why do we group the elements into particular groups? Why do we do that? What is the necessity? Like in 9th standard you had studied the classification of living organism. Hope you remember, you had studied about the organism being classified into kingdoms, then kingdoms into divisions or phylum, then to families, order, genus, species, so on. So why the organisms has been classified, or why these elements has been classified? The reason is same, that is for our convenience. It's difficult to learn about all the elements, each element, its properties. It's difficult to learn, especially in the school life. You'll study further if you pursue masters in chemistry like I did. You will be learning about each and every element in detail. But in school life, you won't be studying about everything in detail. For that, it's important to group that, and it's important to classify it. So that classification, how it is being done, that we are going to study in this video. Okay, the first step in classification has been done in very simple way, that elements has been grouped in two different ways, that is metals and non-metals. You have a separate chapter about metals and non-metals. You are going to study in deeply about that. But this classification, where we divide elements into metals and non-metals, is not convenient. It's not helpful for us to remember everything. Just like Aristotle had done in the earlier stages, organism being classified into terrestrial, aquatic and aerial. But that's not sufficient for us to study. So that is why the first step to do it was not quite helpful. But that's the basis. We got to know that elements can be classified. From that point, the further classification has been done by many scientists. One by one we are going to study. The first one after the classification of metals, and one of the first proper classification has been started. He has not done a lot of work, but he has initiated something. The name of the scientist is called as Dobereiner. Okay, so Dobereiner, he has his law. You should remember, this is important. So all the scientists, which laws they had done, how they have classified, their merits and demerits, means pros and cons, or advantages and disadvantages, you should know. Okay, so Dobereiner, what he has done? Dobereiner, he made a law called as Dobereiner's Law of Triads. So what he has done is triad. What is tri? Tri means 3. Okay, triad. So what he done is he grouped elements into triads, like 3 members. A group has been done. He tried in the beginning to group the elements into a set of 3 each. So what he has done is he done few of the triads. He done the triad, a very important triad which you should remember is lithium, sodium, potassium. So lithium, sodium and potassium is a triad. Same way, calcium, strontium, barium is also a triad. So how do he define the triad? So what he says in the triad is, when we add the atomic mass of the first and the last element, you can check out here the first and the last element, means in lithium, sodium and potassium, if the atomic mass of lithium and potassium been added and then divided by 2, in the sense, in simple words, means the average atomic mass of lithium and potassium will be nearly equal to the atomic mass of sodium. Getting my point? The thing is, so in a triad of group of 3 arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses, the average of the first and the third element's atomic mass will be equal to the atomic mass of the middle element. That is what is the law of triad. Okay, if you take another triad, like we have chlorine, bromine, iodine, that's from the halogen series, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So out of these 3, when you take the atomic mass of chlorine, add with the atomic mass of iodine, then divide it by 2, means to take average of chlorine and iodine, that gives the exact atomic mass of bromine. Okay, that is known as law of triad. So was it helpful? Yeah, in some extent, that he initiated the grouping, the classification. He showed that the elements has somewhat similarity by which it can be grouped. But he could only do 3 triads in the periodic table. You can check out these. I had mentioned already. You can check out here. These 3 triads. That's it. He couldn't classify all the elements which were discovered that time. There were no 100 plus element. There were around 50 elements. But that element itself he could not classify according to law of triad. That was not applicable. So that is the demerit of this. So when there is demerit, there should be some correction. There are scientists who come up, who correct it, and then make a new periodic table. So which is the next? So after this Dobereiner's law of triad, the next scientist who tried to classify elements is Newland. So who is Newland? What he has done? So he has proposed his own law, that is Newland's Law of Octaves. So he came up with octaves. Octa means 8. So Dobereiner has grouped into 3 elements. Now Newland came up with a group of 8 elements. So he stated Newland Law of Octaves. What does it say? The Newland Law of Octaves says that when we arrange the elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass, What is atomic mass? You had studied in 9th standard. For your information, remember, atomic mass is the total number of protons plus neutrons. Okay, protons plus neutrons together is known as atomic mass. So when we arrange the elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses, then what he says is the every 8th element will have the similar property of the first. You can check out in the picture here how it is. So 8 elements. Suppose A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so on. There are the elements. So A is 1, B, 2, C, like that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, this is 7. After that, H is the 8th element. So H being the 8th element, according to Newland law of octaves, it should have the similar properties as A. Okay, then I should have similar properties as B. J should have similar properties as C. Okay, according to Newland law of octaves, what he did, he arranged the elements in increasing order of atomic masses. Then he showed the properties repeat at every 8th element. So the 8th element and the first element will have same properties. The 9th element and the second element will have similar properties. Okay, so like that, that is the Newland law of octaves. Okay, so the elements whichever were available, that means discovered that time, that he has arranged according to this Newland law of octaves. So the good thing is that he shown that there is periodicity. But periodicity means the properties repeat. Means after regular time when we arrange, the properties repeat. Means it's same property elements are there which can be grouped, which can be when we arrange in a particular order, the properties repeat. What he told the number? He told the number 8. So every 8th element the properties repeat. He told that. That's a good thing idea, but the demerits are, one is that he compared this with musical notes. Like you know that in India we have musical note like sa re ga ma pa da ni sa again. So sa re ga ma pa da ni sa will repeat. That is the 8th element. Okay, 8th will repeat. And same way, he didn't compare with the Indian, he compared with the Western music. That is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Okay, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. This is the notes, musical notes of Western music. He compared elements with that. He said like in music, the 8th note repeats with the first. Same way, the property of 8th element repeat with the first. So this made the other scientist made fun of it, that how could he compare chemistry with music. Without that also his theory would have been good, but he compared it. That's the one thing. Okay, let's keep it aside. Then apart from that also there were many demerits. What were that? That is his law could be applicable only to the lighter elements up to calcium. Up to calcium, this Newland law of octaves proved right. But after calcium, it got exhausted. Those couldn't fit into that. In the sense, after calcium, the elements, if you arrange an atomic mass, the every 8th element didn't show the similar properties of the first. So that was the backlog. And then what he did to make it set, to make something like every 8th element should repeat, what he did, he placed two different elements in same box so that it matches. And he said that there are no more new elements being discovered. Only this final, only these are the elements present on the earth or the universe. No more elements will be discovered. That's the wrong thing. We had discovered many new elements after that, and he didn't left any blanks so that we can fill the new elements. These are the limitations, drawbacks or demerits. Anything might be asked. The words remember: limitation, drawback, demerits, cons, disadvantage, all these. Mainly limitation. Limitation of Newland law of octaves we have discussed now. To overcome that limitation, another scientist will come up, and that leads to very good breakthrough. let's discuss about that in the next video. So that's it from this video. In the next video, it's very important. We are going to discuss about Mendeleev's periodic table and the modern periodic table both. So please come back tomorrow to watch that. Thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for the notification.